Going to research conferences is always a great experience. You get to connect with your peers, you get to learn about what's new in your field, and you also get to be around people that are passionate about the same things that you're passionate about. But it's also a place where you can have difficult conversations about things that are happening in your field. I just got back from the American Association for Cancer Research conference, and I had a really insightful conversation with a scientist working at a very large biotech company. We were discussing the importance of communicating your research to the public and specifically to certain populations within the public or within your audience. And we got on the topic about clinical trials and the importance of experimentation, like medical experimentation, and some of the history of that, unfortunately. And we were talking about, some examples about why certain communities, like for example, the Black community, aren't as prevalent or aren't as represented in clinical trials. And I said it's because of the history of medical experimentation, unethical medical experimentation that has happened in the United States to the Black community and to other communities. The scientist I was talking to was not from the United States, and the society that they're from does not have the same issues that the United States is from. But having talked to them, they didn't know about things like the Tuskegee syphilis experiments or the Holmesburg prison experiments or the forced sterilization of women in the South or in like Puerto Rico. So we were talking about how you deal with skepticism from certain communities. And my reply to those questions were, well, first you have to address the historical harms that have, impacted these communities and continue to impact these communities before you can even start to address some of these things. And that's the job of institutions to do that. Until you start to address those injustices and repair those relationships, you will continue to see the same trends that we've been seeing in things like clinical trial participation. So, if you want to make science inclusive and also make science work for everyone, you have to include everyone and you have to do difficult things and have difficult conversations to address historical injustices. And until you do, you're going to have the same outcomes. And I think this is why it's so important as researchers that we understand the context of which we're doing our research in and the systems that we're doing our research in, because those are not divorced from reality. They are within that same context. And you have to think about these things and have these conversations.